I'm going to give this a few extra minutes because I'm using StreamYard, and I know that StreamYard sometimes takes longer to get the links out for everybody. We'll see how long my hair lasts down because I don't think it will last very long before it gets on my nerves. Oh, I forgot to put earrings on. I forgot to put all my jewelry on, but my rings are all down yonder. Show you my favorite earrings as of right now. They were made by a friend, and they are runes. I also have a rune that Sabrina made for me over my sink. These are natural stones and runes. She told me what it meant. It was like integrity, stability, or something like that. But it's got lapis and some malachite and some quartz on top. So, let me put these in so I don't look so bare naked if I do pull my hair out. If you like these, I believe they do have a Facebook website. I believe they're $15 a pair. And she is the wife of the blacksmith that likes to do the same festivals and markets that we do. And they're just wonderful people. They've got 4 kids, and they're just a wonderful younger couple. And he he invited us to that Viking festival they're doing next spring, so we'll be going to that. I'm gonna leave this on here. I didn't know when I was gonna be able to finish these flowers up, but luckily my package of ribbon came today, so I can finish them up today. So I'm gonna get these done really quick, and I think David's gonna try to help me put the flowers out tomorrow. And I also want to thank, I have, just a few weeks ago I was like, yeah, I might receive 2 packages a year, because I don't give a lot of my information out to a lot of people. And in the last 3 or 4 years that I've been really doing this channel, I have given just a few of you how to reach me and stuff, and the last couple of weeks I have received like 3 or 4 packages. And one of the one of the cute things I got was this little wearing a little trapper hat Santa Claus. He's so cute, and he's a little ornament. If I put the big tree up later tonight or tomorrow, he's probably going to go on it. And I got some statues, some a dangly leg shelf sitter Santa Claus. Y'all saw the beautiful Jasper necklace that I got earlier. I wore it at Thanksgiving, and I worn it a couple times since. And I have just really, really been blessed. Got a package from Serendipitous. Got a package from Ophelia. Crystal has in the last year. Crystal sent me stuff. Why July sent me stuff, and it's just been a super big blessing and the boost I've needed to feel better. Hey, Still Not Crazy, how you doing? I try to look like a human being for a few seconds so I can guarantee my hair is going up. Last night, my health has now gone to a new place. For the second time, I am now exhibiting the Graves rash. If you can see that big splotch. Um, and I guess it's where I probably was sick with something and had the sinusy crap. And then all this weather that came through last night really tripped my reflex sympathetic dystrophy trigger. And I went into my body went into almost like a shock mode. And I know how to handle it because it happens a lot. But I guess between my health and the weather and everything that I've been stressed over the last several weeks, last several months, plus my grandson's very sick right now, and I've been stressed about that. I guess my body was just like, we're done, and so it promptly told me you're in the danger zone. So today has been a much needed rest and focus on me day. Um, I wanted to finish a weaving that I've started, but I didn't think I was in the mental headspace to do so, so I stopped. And I've got is looking at me going, finish me. And I'm like, I really want to, but not while I'm not feeling well. Y'all know I only weave when I'm able to really be in the mindset of weaving. So I thought, well, I can finish these flowers up really quick. David's going to help me get to the cemeteries, hopefully tomorrow, to get them put out. Tomorrow or Sunday morning before he has to go to work. And I'm glad we didn't put them out earlier this week, the ones that I had done, because the wind, last night we had some 70-mile-per-hour winds here in this area. It was just a weird evening. It's a weird weather evening. It was a weird health evening. It was just weird. So I'm going to be taking it a little bit easier on myself for the next little bit. And just focus on some stuff. And plus on a Christmas gift I had been working on for months. I had to frog like 3 or 4 hours of work because I had messed a stitch up, which had by default messed up every line after that stitch. One stitch I messed up. Oh, it made me so mad. So I had to frog like 3 or 4 hours of work. And then my legs hurt really bad, and I ended up being up until like 3 or 4 a.m. with my legs. And it just was not a very pleasant time to be me. So trying to see what ribbons I'm going to use. I want to keep a couple to put, if I have enough, I want to keep a couple to put in my tree if I put my tree up. So not sure how that's going to go. I do have a little like 3-foot tree on my kitchen table here in front of me. And then I have our stocking tree back there, which is what I hang things that I'm working on, during the year. It's just a cedar tree that David made, and didn't have enough limbs. He put dowel rods in it because there for a while with all the dogs, the kids, and then the grandkids that were merging. It needed more than the tree had given it naturally. Okay, hair's going up, y'all. Because I can't do it. Plus, when I get hot, it seems like this rash gets redder. So we're just going to... I don't know what I'm going to do about all this hair. I really honestly don't know what I'm going to do about all this hair. I'm going to have to make a decision about it. And it is really becoming a nuisance. It is what it is. Okay. Let me get my poinsettias over here. So that's what happened to me last night. It's gone in some. It is on this arm too, but with my tattoo, it's not as dark and it's harder to see. But it's definitely, it was much more raised and puckered. And if you have Graves' disease, they call it orange peel skin. What it actually is called is Graves' dermopathy. Yeah, did I say that right? I did. And but it does feel like it puckers up and feels like an orange peel, and so they call it orange peel skin. And it's not pleasant. It doesn't really hurt, but it's just not pleasant. And so that's. I've been crocheting. I was sitting there just kind of waiting the weather out before I could go back to bed and try my legs again. And I looked down at my arm, and it was like, "Hey, lady," and I was like, "Oh crap, man." Because I wish I got warnings from my body, like, hey, at 2 a.m. we're just gonna kick out. It'd be nice to know. If they could like schedule these things with me, it'd be lovely. I kind of know what's going on and feel like I had a little bit of control. And I think what has happened is after they changed my medicine back in the summer, it really messed my body up, and then they had to put me on some other stuff, which has caused me to gain some weight back. And I think now I'm just starting to get well from that, and I think my body is tripping back over into its old state, which was healthier. Yes, Luna's prowling. Now she's gonna be thirsty the moment I go live. She's never thirsty until I get on the internet. Okay, go Lulu's chair, sit down. No, don't hoover. I done vacuumed and swept. Leave it. Leave the floor alone. Go on. Go Lulu's chair. Lulu. Go Lulu's chair. I dropped some kibble mixing her dinner, and she thinks there's kibble everywhere. And she's a huge opportunist, so she's going to look. Because that's what she does. So I don't know, my health has been really, 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 really. Hey, Sal. I'm going to finish up these graveyard flowers, and I was telling Still Not Crazy and everybody that I'm exhibiting the Graves' disease autoimmune lady, you're in the danger zone rash. So I've had a day of rest and just to kind of focus on me. Luna, you ate your dinner. It's all gone. Lulu. You ate your dinner. It's all gone. Go sit down. Go sit down. You know the rules. Go sit down. You got to be still after you eat or it comes back up. I have an epileptic dog, which, you know, it just adds fun to everything. Luna May. You gonna get trouble? You gonna be a bad dog? Bad dog. No, ma'am. Go sit in Luna's chair. Go. Go Luna's chair. She's like, I know you dropped more. I swept it up, dog. I swept it up. So yeah, my body is doing a hoop-de-hoo. But the weather was really bad here last night. And my legs were really bad. And I was up to like 4. I didn't even lay down until after 4. And it was 6 something before I fell asleep. And so I've basically just been a lazy blob all day. Lulu. Leave it. This dog, she gets into everything. She is, if anything, if I move anything one day, she's like, what'd you move that? She wants to know why I moved it. Where should it go back? Should she, you know, should she stare at me until I move it back? And I'm like, just leave it. And she's like, I can't do it. Where did I put my scissors? So if you missed the first installment of this, I was just making these flowers for the grave sites, for the cemeteries, for my grandma and grandpa's, both sets of my grandma and grandpa's, and my uncle. And then there was a lady that my grandma knew that passed away, that she had a baby that also passed away when she was young. She had a baby that passed away. And we've just kind of taken over putting flowers on those graves. So I was deciding to go ahead and get these done. We always put them on right before Christmas, and they stay on until we decide to put like a really early spring bouquet. Lulu, go sit down. Nate, go sit down. Oh, I'm fixing to have to get grumpy with her. Nate, sit down. Thank you. Come here. Nate, come here. Lulu's chair. Stop. You get into something, I'll have to bust your honey in. No. She got into something the other day when I wasn't here and David was, and now she's like, I can get away with that, huh? And I'm like, no, you can't. Only when he's here, and when I'm here, you can't. And I'm here 99.9% of the time with you. So, no, you can't. But I'm having to teach her that lesson all over again. It's painful. And I'm making these really easy. I'm using the styrofoam that will go farther down into the cups on either side of the grave. So it looks like a deeper hold. It'll hold better. The flowers won't be as likely to, oh, that irritates me, end up in the next county. And just doing really simple little bubble the ribbons, kind of anchor everything together so it won't blow away. I'm sorry, y'all, this glue gun in my hands. And then make sure you get it wedged into the fixture at the gravesite just right, because we don't want it ending up in the next county or somebody's fence row, which is sadly where a lot of them end up. Now, I've been really lucky that the stuff I've put out they haven't blown away yet. This is probably going to be the lightest that I've put out. So I'm hoping we're through most of the bad weather, but as you see, I go through and I kind of glue all the flowers to each other and to the different bow baubles, and I kind of anchor everything, so if the wind pulls, it pulls on the whole thing and not just one part of it. And that's how I attempt to win the ribbon war at the cemetery. It doesn't always work. Hi, Sally. How are you? Dogs. we do big bouquets, like big seasonal bouquets, and then everybody kind of takes personal stuff up through the rest of the year. Colin, it's so nice to see you in here. I saw you on Booma the other night, and I kept trying to spell Colin, and it kept changing it to Carl, and I was like, stop it, autocorrect. I was on my phone, and that was the night I had to wash my hands every time I could type. And if I'm on my phone, half the time my autocorrect changes it, and I don't see it until after it changes it. I hate autocorrect. But Colin is my voice crush. Have y'all heard Colin speak? He has an authentic Irish voice, and it's even it's one that really even twirls its R's, and I just love it. That's probably my favorite dialect, and I assume it's because it's part of my heritage that I like it so much. Now, as far as the great grandparents, sometimes I make a little something for them, and sometimes I don't. We do have some elderly family members that sometimes put stuff there, but my great grandma and grandpa are also up close to me at the same one my granny and papa are. And if I can, I will put something together and put it there, and if I can't, I won't. We try and we do what we can. If I were to put flowers on every family member in the county, I would be broke. I'd be broke. Colin. Is that a newbie? Jacques Jane or whatever? I don't know how you say that. Looks like Jacques Cousteau. I'm just trying to get color in this, basically, is what I'm attempting to do. And then I'm going to create a bow to place in a specific spot. But I'm basically just trying to get color in there, kind of hide the middle with the thick ribbons, anchor everything, and then create a little faux bow on the front, just to kind of hold everything. So I do have the Dreamcatcher I am weaving, but today with my health was just not the day to finish that one. So I'll be finishing that probably in the next day or two. I got to pick a front and a back, and I like that one for the back and this one for the front. Okay. If David were here, I would use his fingers. I said, put your fingers out, and I tie a bow around his fingers. And hold his fingers like that, and you know how to tie the bows around those. I haven't figured out how to do that when he's not here because I don't have anything that that I can do that on. And I've not gotten coordinated enough to do it on my own. So poo on it. But I'm going to do a little pinch bow, nothing fancy. Just a little pinch bow. I'll dovetail my ends when I get it on. I do have some yarn over there if I need to, and I can tape it or glue it around the yarn. I guess that's what I'll do. Hey, wait, I have zip ties. Why am I doing that? Hang on. Zip ties. Hey, zip ties. Oh, you're in here. My nose is running. There's one. Is that one? David, take my zip ties? Surely not. Oh, no, found it. Found him. I have been slowly putting up the Christmas stuff in the house. And still haven't got the big tree up, but I've got little stuff up. And I'm making myself do it because last year I didn't put anything up, and I felt really bad, because it was Oscar. I didn't know it was gonna be Oscar's last Christmas. I miss him. I put his stocking on the stocking tree. I miss my little pug zoo, man. He was the best little dog. It's just weird to be without him still. And I've got spider webs from this glue everywhere. So I put his stocking back on the tree, even though it's just hanging there, but I couldn't not. I miss him so much. Had him for so long. He was just part of my identity, I believe. I'm going to have glitter all over me. I hope Sabrina watches this, because I don't usually use a lot of glitter. So if Sabrina's watching this, give me bonus points, because I normally don't use a lot of glitter. Okay. Plug it right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Then we're going to slop the glue on there and get it all stuck together. Probably give ourselves third-degree burns in the process, but that's what crafting is. Right? Right. I don't know. Okay. Now push. Let me fluff in a minute. Okay, let me hold it while it dries. Gosh. I know I've been sick. I know I've been puny. I did not know I was sick enough for my Graves' disease to act out in this manner. I didn't. I didn't think I was that ill. But y'all know that I've lived with this reflex sympathetic dystrophy for 20-something years now. I'm like the oldest living person, that they had the chance to kind of study with this in my area. And so all the doctors treat me like a freaking unicorn anyway. And then to have the Graves pronounced on top of it and have both of the disorders just kind of ag each other on, which is kind of what they do. It's lovely. It's like having a little league system for your immune system, and they just kind of play ball and decide who's going to take you out. But I have really been more sick than I thought I've been, just because I'm used to being so sick, y'all. I'm used to feeling bad. David finally looked at me and he said, "How long have you felt bad?" And I looked at him and I finally said, I don't remember a day in I don't know how many years that I felt good. So I don't know that I feel bad half the time. I'm just going because that's the only gear I have. I just need to go. So just dealing with my body, just dealing with the unpredictable nature of this disorder and dropping everything. As y'all can tell, I'm having one of those days as well. If you've been with me for a while, you know what that means. That means my RSD is acting up and I stutter a lot. I lose my words a lot. I drop things a lot when it acts up. It just it's kind of like an MS flare for a lot of people that have not heard me talk about it before. Why can I pick that up? Holding everything and bending over. There we go. So this one's going to look like this when I get done. I mean, it's cute. And these will stick out over the edge and the rest of it will go down in there. So I just need to get everything attached really, really good with glue and get it all bonded. Which may be easier said than done. But I'll get there. So yeah, I don't know if that kind of shocked him when I said that or what, but I just don't. I've dealt with this for so long. I don't talk about it a lot. I just go on, and I don't know. I'm like, I didn't say that to make you feel guilty. I said I just said it to let you know. That's just how it's the only gear I know to do now because, having this disorder shouldn't run my life. It dictates it some days, but it shouldn't run the whole thing, but it does. But it needs some lavender. They would actually probably be cute. My mom dictated the color scheme this year, so she wanted the burgundy and red, and so that's what I did. I did burgundy and red. I like not not weird colors, but I like to do more like personalized stuff when I do them, and that doesn't always work out well. I will say that this ribbon does not want to glue well, so I'm having a little bit of a fit with it. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm using Gorilla Glue. You'd think it would do better than that. But we'll get there. So I don't know. I took pictures and sent pictures of my arm to my to my doctor and my endocrinologist so they could see what in the crap's going on. Hi, Kelly. You know, they have a really pretty crochet pattern for lavender. It's really pretty. Colin in there, jumping in. That was a leap, Colin. That was a leap. But I understand. I understand. I really want this to stay, and I really want it to glue, and I want it to stick, so I know it's going to stay when I put it out, and not get absolutely demolished by our winter storms. She's been banished to her chair because she was not behaving. She was trying to see what she could get away with while I was live. And after I do this, I'm just going to sit and crochet until I make dinner, and honestly, I'm not doing a whole lot. If I could like talk David into grabbing him about a dinner somewhere, I would totally eat a granola bar and drink a protein shake and call it even. Because I'm tired. I may actually pose that idea to him and see what he says. Hey, he's had homemade chili this week and other stuff. He's fine. And ain't gonna kill him to have a burger one night. Or go to he can go to the Chinese restaurant and get Chinese buffet. Maybe I'll lure him with that one. I'm just tired, y'all. I just want to rest. Pyrenees are, they're the worst dog to go visit and like claim a new home. And then you're like, no, dog, I don't want you. And the dog's like, sorry, I wanted you. Oh my gosh, we had Pyrenees on the farm. There's this one. The guy that I showed sheep for, he was like my bonus dad. I loved him. I miss him so much since he's passed away. I miss him so much. His grave is like 45 minutes down the mountain, and there ain't no way with my health that I'm doing that one. I could almost go visit Gypsy by the time I get to his grave. There ain't no way. And it burns. If anybody else has had Graves' disease and get the autoimmune rash when you're really weak, feel free to, if you want to share, chime in and share. Or you can email me at watersworkload@gmail.com. It's all one word, watersworkload. Because I have not really experienced this rash a lot. I know what it is, and I know why it's there. It's just kind of a new thing for me, and I don't really know how to deal with it. It's not like my other immune issue, when it swells and makes me piebald and all the funny colors. This one actually elevates the skin. It feels like an orange peel. It really does, and it kind of burns a little bit. And they say, I just pushed that poinsettia apart, dang it. They say if it gets really bad, it can scar you, and a lot of people that have it on their face have been disfigured. Now this is on my arm, and it's not on the little tattoo, so it's not as what's on here, but it's not as bad. But I've never dealt with this, and I don't know what. I should have known something was going to happen yesterday because my eyes were really bad yesterday. I should have known because David got some orders on Etsy and he asked me to box them since I was here. And I didn't care to, once he told me that he had some. But I went on there and I was like, you're going to have to read the zip codes off. I can't see them. That should have been my first indication that something was not right. Did I pay attention? No. No, I did not. Oh, like an idiot. I did not. I just went on about my work. Never said it was perfect. Okay. Now packing on the garbage. One more white one. If I can get it without pulling the bag off the chair. That's the kicker. Also, if I need to, I have a eucalyptus arrangement that I can pull some eucalyptus out and bind them together a little bit more with some sprigs of eucalyptus. So I do have that option as well if I want to use it. I just don't know if I want to use it. I don't know. I tell you what, I'm missing Oscar bad right now. That's why I was telling him I've even put his stocking on the stocking tree, even though he's not here. I just miss that little turtle so bad. He was just part of this house. He'd been with us so long. It's hard. You know, you've had him that long. It's hard to be without him. It's just a whole different world. And I don't know. I used to, you know, growing up on a farm, I dealt with the passing of animals, I think, better than most. But I have not handled Oscar being gone very well at all. I really miss him. I don't know if I will ever get to where I don't still want to hear his little pitter patter behind me. He aggravated the far out of me when he was here, but I loved him. I miss him lots. I miss him lots. It's really hard to lose something you've had around for more than a decade. Yeah. So my mom is going to most likely be having surgery after the turn of the year. She's got to have one more MRI, and she's got some health stuff going on that we're going to have to handle and repair. I wish I could take her to Pep Boys, but I can't. She has to go to all these doctors. So they've been, where I've been peeking, they've been going to their appointments and stuff on their own, and I've been just kind of getting the dealio after the fact, so I can kind of just stay aware of everything. Ow, that hurt. That was hot. So we're looking at more tests right after the new year, and not a hip replacement surgery, but a hip surgery to repair damage in her hip from it's been impinging on a nerve and causing her a great deal of discomfort. And it won't change the way she walks or that she still needs her cane, but it will help her walk with less discomfort because she's not been able to get around as well this last year due to all of the pain in her hip that's been added on top of everything else. So it's been a rough year for her. So we're looking at that being handled, and then glue gun. My little grandson has been sick, and he was having a hard time. Holding his medicines down, and we finally got that figured out. Me and my daughter were just kind of mad hashing any idea to help him because his little body was just so tired. And they have maybe figured out why he's been so peaked the last several months. So that at least makes me feel better. At least we kind of are on a path of knowing what had been going on. And it, this will probably resolve itself and be fine. But man, it's just, they're so far away, and I worry about him. And they chose to move, closer to their biological father. And I'm like, I know he's probably right down the road, but he's such a useless piece of crap. What's he going to do? And so I just worry about him. Just worry about him. All right, where to put the bow on this one? I think probably right here. No, make that. I don't know. Anchor that on down a little bit. Make the other one the back. Yeah, let's do that. Because these are going to sit down, so you won't be able to see the edges. They'll be down in the cubbies, and so the bow will stick up and kind of step on the top of the concrete cubby, so it won't be saying that much. Stay, boo boo, sit. So it won't be as visible as you would think. But still not crazy. Thanks for popping in. Everybody is having a rough time right now. And I know it's not just us. I see everybody, and I remind myself every time I have a bad day, I'm like, so many other people are having worse days. Don't fuss. Don't whine. I don't like to whine. But it seems like the sickness, and then Germany came out with that big report on the and said that, all the craze that was created and all the hysteria that was created, it was all false because those tests were what 86 to 90% incorrect. And of course, if you're like me and you've done a lot of work with livestock and you understand fudge. You understand the way the USDA works, and so the medicine and FDA and how they go hand in hand and how things are supposed to be done, and nothing was done correctly. And so I was sitting back going, well, this ain't right. Well, this ain't right. Well, I trust no one now. And they finally, Germany's been studying this, coming out and going, they made it 100 times worse than it literally was. Literally 100 times worse than it was. And now they wonder why they don't have the trust of the people. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I mean, if I come to your door and said I was going to sell you Tupperware and then I never showed back up, but I took your money, you'd never trust me again. Now imagine if I asked you to put something in your body or to believe me about a medical issue and lied 100 times over. Seems like the American people are just acting pretty kosher. I mean, I'd be mad too. I think we're all acting pretty good, to be quite honest. So I don't know what they think, they're going, supposed to expect out of behavior after all of this is being studied and it's all coming out and we all figure out, a bunch of flipping hypocrites. So I don't know I don't know how they think they're supposed to bridge this gap again, because I would just like to tell them I don't think it can be bridged. I think we're going to have to go medically for a hands-off period for a long time to let people make their own decisions and do it literally without somebody's head up their butt and somebody harping on them. I will say the one good thing I think came from all that is all the people that overreact and go out into public and really try to socially corral people and socially heckle people. That's about over with, because we had up here with that. So that's ending. I see a lot of that ending, and I'm very happy that's ending, because listen, when I get out in public and I'm in my community mindset and I'm being nice, just trying to get through the day, and you look really hard to find something you want to pick at, I have already had to watch my P's and Q's and monitor myself just to be appropriate in society and to be in my community mindset and be nice, be neighborly. And I'm working really hard at it. And if you don't see my hard work and you want to pick and prod on something that you determine is, how is rude to you, I don't have time to visit your fairy tale land. I just don't. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to be real. I'm busy with life. I don't have time to spend in this world that you've created where you're the king, and I'm going to go on about my way, and you need to leave me alone. And a lot of people have not learned their lesson about leaving people alone. Instead, they read into little innuendos and create these whole big narratives, and then go after people based on lies and stupid, just perceptual filters. How many times have you heard me talk about those? Just because you see it don't mean it's there. It means you have a filter. Figure out your filters. Figure out why you see it. Talk to yourself about it. You might learn something. And leave people the frig alone. I think that it is getting better in society, though, because people have been like, no, it's enough. I'm done. We're done with this. Hi, Chelsea. I will say that tonight on Booma, Sabrina and Booma are going to be doing their movie. Um, she tried to explain it to me on a voice message earlier, and I think I was just too tired to have it compute. But they're going to go back through all the movies and stuff that you can look at, and it'll be an educational process. So Sabrina is going to be on with Booma tonight, and I guarantee you it's going to be something we probably all need to know. So make sure that you set your clocks. In about an hour and a half, they should go live. So I'm going to try to be in the background watching, depending on how I feel, if I'll interact a whole lot, because that's about the time David gets off work and I have to make dinner or make him bring it. It's really a thought. And that's when my house gets really busy for a few minutes. So we'll see if I can join in a little bit at some point. In the chat. I'm not going on. Boomer was really sweet and said I could pop in the other night, but we were butchering a bear. And listen, if you got a problem with that, I don't know what to tell you. I eat from the woods. We were butchering a bear and putting it up because David's brother got a bear, and he divvied up the meat, and so we were butchering our portions to put up to get us through the winter. It was such a pretty, healthy bear. Oh my gosh. People are like, why do you eat from the woods? Because I could see my animal. Because I did broiler house chickens for a long time. A long part of my life. My grandpa had broiler houses. We had 21,000 in each house. We monitored houses for other people that had broiler houses. They basically fed them a diet of crushed up antibiotics and steroids. Broiler house chickens are sterile. They have genetically modified them to where they're sterile. They're useless. All you can do is eat them. That's why when somebody was like, when egg prices went up, they said, well, they lied to us because the price of chicken meat hasn't gone up. And I said, meat chickens are not egg-laying chickens. They're separate. You liar. Every chicken lays an egg. No, honey, they don't. Broiler house chickens, they raise for meat. They're sterile. They're sterile. Because when the catchers would miss some and leave them in the house, you only got paid for the live. So you kept them alive. You babied those things. You'd pick them and throw them into your chicken lot. All they could do is eat and get fat till their legs broke. They're useless. That's all they're good for. They don't lay, they don't reproduce, they don't do nothing but get fat and break their legs. That's all they do. They grow to maturity in 6 to 8 weeks and they get harvested. They get picked up. They'll live for several more months, but they'll just get fat till their legs break, and then you have to butcher them. So when the eggs went up, it was because they had culled a bunch of egg layers. But meat chickens are not egg layers. They're separate. They're kept in separate houses on separate farms. It's a whole separate genetic industry. And I couldn't explain this to people, just like that one boy that thought that farmer that got that steer when he went to the sale to get a bull should be happy that he got a steer because steer are easier to handle. He didn't understand it takes a bull to reproduce. I don't have the time nor the crayons to explain this to people sometimes. And I don't mean to be mean, but it's just kind of like I didn't take people to raise. And I think sometimes nobody did. And that's why they're all so stupid. So. Oh, thank you, Chelsea. Yeah, I told David that you were keeping feathers for me. And I'm so excited because I have been so low on feathers this year. Oh, my gosh. Like, nobody got a turkey last spring. Not my family. David did happen to run across one pheasant that had been killed and brought it home. And let me tell you what, poor guy. I hate that I think he got clipped by a vehicle, but I pet his little head and then I took his feathers. So he lives on. But it's been a hard year for feathers. I don't know. I mean, nobody's chickens molted correctly. We'll just say correctly. And they weren't very healthy this year on top of that. So they just were not a good year for feathers. If you do crafting with feathers, it's bad. And Jill's in here too, yeah. Too many people needing crayons. I'm here to tell you what. It was so funny because there were certain people when I went to the prisons or the jails to see people, and like you know, if I was serving paperwork that had to be signed in blue or black, sometimes there would have to be like 2 COs. They'd have to bring them in, double shackled, chain them to the floor, put them in a chair, and only give them one hand because I guess they had said they were going to harm themselves. I don't know. Put a spit mask on them, the whole nine. I don't know. But there was one time I had this lady, and I was really needing an address from her. She had committed basically a stand up at a local hospital. And one of my guys that ended up on like the TV I Top 10 that night. Oh my gosh, it was a whole day. Oh crap! I got home, watched the news, and here come his flipping face up in something that had just happened while I was driving home. I had to turn around and go. I slept under my desk in the office that night after I did my emergency warrant, and I thought, let me find him first, because I was mad. I didn't get to sleep in my own bed, didn't get to see my kids that day. Made me mad. And then they got him into custody, and they had to double shackle him. He was not in the best of moods, and I said, well, I ain't neither. I said, so there we go. But he didn't give me any crap. I wasn't gonna take it if he did. But there was a lady, I was trying to get some information from her to help the investigative officers, and because I was doing a parole warrant, so I needed the investigative officers to have this so I could get more information to substantiate my parole warrant. And I said, can I get her a pen and a piece of paper? And they're like, she can have construction paper and a crayon. And I was like, I just need to go to the Dollar Tree before I come to the prisons because y'all don't keep it on hand, but you're dead serious that that's what I have to have. And I was just like, you don't ever have it though. But it's true. They will make them use crayons and paper. But now if they had to sign something like their paperwork had to be signed in blue or black, then here came 2 or 3 COs, double shackled. They got, actually it's kind of D-rings the floor into concrete, reinforced with rebar when they poured the floors, and they clip them to them like livestock, and they literally put him in a chair and strapped him down and gave him from his elbow down one hand to sign my paperwork. And I was just like a little bit overkill. I just think, boys, I have put less leather on a 1,200-pound bull. But okay, whatever. I don't think they knew how to take me half the time when I was doing my job, so. But no, I never had anybody hurt me. I had one guy threaten me a couple times, but he was not right in the head, so I didn't take it personal. He wasn't right in the head. And normally if they did threaten me, they did it in such a way where it was like sassy backwoods talk, and I just sassed them back. But once they found out kind of who I was and what I did on the weekends, because we were still hog hunting at that time a lot, and they would go on all these hunting forums, and they'd watch me. My brother had a hunting lodge, and they'd watch me with the groups because I would guide, I would recover the carcasses, I would field dress them and get them into the freezer, and I guess they decided I wasn't somebody they needed to pick on when they saw what I did daily. I don't know. But they'd come in and they'd be like, is that your brother? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, is that you on that bench? Yeah. Oh, I missed an idea. What's the idea? I really like Booma. Yeah, they once they saw, because we did one of the last legal knife hunts in the state. We did one of the last legal spear hunts in the state when we had to inoculate the pigs that actually made it a full year in the wilds at our hunting lodge. You had to go up with the dogs, bag them up, and hang on to them with somebody else give them a shot, and then you had to turn them loose and get up a tree really quick because we had the big ones, and so we would what we call the Tennessee Terriers hunts, where they were like 400 to 600 pounds average, and they were pure straight snouted Russian boar. Um, and every once in a while, you get a hunter that he wouldn't mind having a little bit of domestic in his, and he could have a bigger hog. But I mean, we had stock that was bred pure wild Russian, and man, they were mean. I mean, talk about a tank running through the woods. Them suckers are mean, and they'll ruin your day and take your legs off. It don't matter if you got on snake boots and chaps. You know, and they got 4-inch cutters in their mouth. They'll just take your leg off and run on like a tank through the woods. I'd rather come across a black bear than I would a mad hog. Hogs have done too much damage to people and dogs I've seen, so. But we would tend the fences, and so you get out there tending fences and take a hog off, and you know they'd run you on the fence line. We was trying to mend the fences so they couldn't get out, and here they come running you. You'd have to jump across the fence and play jump the fence with them all day to mend the fence and stay away from them. Because if there were hunters in the woods, only the hunters and the guide had a gun. You know, the old saying, you know, 3 people, 1 gun, 3 safe people. 3 people, 2 guns, 1 possible harmed person, you know, and that's the way we went to the woods with these people that came down to hunt, because they were not like avid outdoorsmen. They were just wanting to hunt. Luna? No, ma'am. Go Lulu's chair. Thank you. So we didn't put extra ammunition in the woods. So I just normally had a knife, a big old knife, and my wits and a radio. And I got bait on the 4-wheeler one day by a big hog trying to hook me, and I was doing a dance on the Yamaha Big Bear. I thought that thing was going to come up there with me, and I was on the radio because they were hunting just over the ridge. I said, send me a dog or come over here or something, because I went to recover it. And they had said, we took pictures already with it, and they laid an orange hat on its head. It was one of the other guys. It wasn't my brother. My brother was out with another hunter at that time. This was the earlier morning's hunt. And I said, okay. And I went and looked for it. And sure enough, they had laid the orange hat on it so I could see it, because it was in a dense part under the mountain laurel. And I thought, thank you. I appreciate that. Went to recover it. And it had been laying there for 30 goddamn minutes. Went to hook it up to the winch to pull it up on the wagon behind the 4-wheeler. Sucker come to life. They had shot it straight through. They've got an empty spot. Their brains are the size of a freaking walnut. And it had gone clean through it, not hit a thing, just knocked it out. And it come to and decided it was going to take it out on me. And so I was on the radio going, I've got a hog on me. It wasn't dead. Get over here. It's got me bait on the 4-wheeler. Send me a dog or get over here with a gun or something. And, my God. You wasn't supposed to. I think that day I had a 9mm on me. You wasn't supposed to pack, but I think Matthew, I'd gone out by myself. I think Matthew would let me go out by myself, because most of the time we didn't have a gun. You didn't want to hear another gunshot in the woods either while somebody else was hunting. Even though it was a big piece of property, it just wasn't, you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to ruin somebody else's hunt. But I was about to get killed, and Matthew was on the radio laughing, saying, we'll be there in a minute. I didn't want to make a big deal about all this, but he come over there and literally brought the whole group. And so they could all see me doing a little jig before he decided to help. And when the hunter came up there to pick up his hog after I had field dressed it and caped it out and sawed its head off and put its carcass in he came after the part he was taking to the taxidermist, who's taking it somewhere else. And he said, I only shot it once. And I said, yeah. And I said, you missed the vital area. And I said, you'd like to kill me when I went to hook him up and pull him on the trailer. He said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, it's okay. That was a hairy day. But my brother thought it was hilarious. That's my brother. If you want to see my brother, he is on YouTube. It's 10 as in Tennessee, TENN, 10 Hunt Farm Guy, and he'll pop up. But people forever called him Hog Guide, and I didn't have a name. I was just Hog Guide's sister. I wasn't important enough to have a name. I was just Hog Guide's sister. In some circles, still, I'm just Hog Guide's sister. It never stops. He's still a pretty big person in the hunting in Taxidermy World, and I stuck that right on my finger, and I knew better. But if y'all want to see who helped turn me into who I am today, you can go see. He's still. I think he's still got some of the boar hunting stuff on there. I think he does. Do you think I'm hateful to people that don't like my way of life? Y'all ain't seen nothing. You think my brother? Lord have mercy. Have you heard that song? There ain't no trash in my trailer. It's by Colt Ford. Since the day you left me. Wait, there ain't no trash in my trailer, but it goes, there ain't no trash in my trailer. I think it's like since the day you left me here or something like that. And I love that. It's freaking hilarious. I watched a documentary last night when I couldn't sleep and my legs were hurting on Christmas in Appalachia, and old Walter Cronkite, where he went back into Kentucky just to throw a rock above us to talk about, and like I think it was 64, to let people see how Appalachia celebrated Christmas, aka they don't. People was too poor back then. And it was, you could tell it was because they were still trying to set up a lot of those foundations that were laundering money through Appalachia. We'll just say it. We'll just say it out loud. They were laundering money through Appalachia, and promised a whole bunch of crap, but Appalachia never saw it. Yeah, it was used to funnel money, much like they do today. You know, with the, what is it, Act Blue and the USAID that they had going and all that crap. Yeah. And it kind of irritated me because, you know, they went into that holler and picked the most pitiful of the pitiful. And found absolutely nothing to be happy about, even though the people there were still genuinely finding things to be happy about. And it kind of irritated me more. I watched it and I was like, but if you, I think it's just popping up on everybody's timeline algorithm right now because it's Christmas. But it's Christmas in Appalachia. It's old black and white Walter Cronkite. That's cute. Walter Cronkite's thing. Do I have them all done? I think I have them all. I need to do one little tiny bouquet for the baby. So I will put it down in the ground separate. So what I'll do is I'll use this and add to it and put a ribbon around it and then stick this in the ground because the baby's grave is by itself and really old, doesn't have a flower holder. I need to probably get one. Probably need to get one. So if you just have a minute, you want to go search that up. It's quite the watch. But like, if you want to know how Appalachians, you know, are spiritually happy people, you know, go and look up some of the old Heartland series with Bill Land. Is it Bill Landry? Bill. Oh, what is his name? Bill Landry. Bill Landry. That sounds right. It's in my head. That sounds right. The Heartland series with Bill Landry. That sounds right. I'm running with it. That sounds right. And you'll kind of see the honesty there. I mean, people, we don't have a lot, but we're happy people. We certainly aren't. You know, I tell you what, people are like, you know, people that get stressed out over money and stuff, and you know, sometimes I do too. If we've got an extra bill coming up or something, like we were a little tight. We had a couple of surprises hit this month, and it was putting us a little tight. And you know, and I just kind of shrug my shoulders and go on because I have been. You live so close to disaster, you know, you've been that close to disaster your whole life, and it always works out. And it's kind of like the Lord will always find a way. And lo and behold, in one of the Christmas bundles a friend had sent, they had wanted jewelry and sent money for jewelry. Problem solved. You know, so I don't tend to worry as quickly as other people worry, because I've seen worry not be a very positive thing and just kind of hurts you more than it helps. And it comes out in the wash one way or another anyway. I just kind of wait for it to come out of the wash. But just pretty amicable people. And if you watch the Heartland series, it's like Channel 10 WBIR through BLT. It's one of the two. Channel 10 News did it, the Heartland series of Bill Landry. And they just go through old ways of doing things. A lot of the festivals and stuff that are still occur in this area that you can still go and see and visit. And they talk about just the lifestyle of Appalachia and the hardiness of the people and the happiness of the people. And it's a really good. It's like just 10-minute segments. They used to put it on after the news, and it became quite a famous thing. And there's, dozens of seasons. They've tried to resurrect it and like a younger man bring it back, but it's not having the same pull as it used to. So it's not doing as well as it used to. But it's just a really good little watch if you are interested in the lifestyle here in Appalachia. And if you specifically want to know about the area I am closest to, you can go and watch the old movie Sergeant York on it's free on YouTube. It's an old Gary Cooper movie, and I'm from the area where Sergeant York is from, and so I actually went to the high school that Sergeant York created after he came back a hero from the war, and he made a contract with the state to get education to the kids in his area, and I actually graduated from that high school. So Sergeant York, his house is still down there. You can still go tour it. I've got videos of the grave site here on my page. Well, I've taken in several times to his grave, I believe, and showed you his grave. And was a really good man. Like, he came back from the war and didn't want anything. He was just thinking about the kids in the area, and all that he had learned in his time away had told him that these kids need to be prepared to not be on this mountain. And so he is, someone that is endeared to our hearts because of his love of the area and his compassion for the kids, wanting them to have an education. He just was a very important figure for us growing up. I'm making a huge mess. That's all I'm doing is making a huge mess. I dropped a flower. How did I do that? I dropped my ribbon too. How did I do that? Well, I don't know. I did it good. So this area is, very proud of the people that it spawned that have gone out into the world and done great things. Samuel Clemens lived here for a while. Mark Twain. He was not a very nice man. He's not a very nice man. Oh, I need to show you that shirt. Crap. Oh my gosh. And oh my gosh. I got the most gorgeous. I want you to look at this. Look at this handiwork embroidery. This is the little Kleenex pop-up cover. And there's more. And I got a huge Christmas tablecloth I'm going to put down after I get done with my crafts that I want to put it down. Somebody's mother did this. And they were like, they're like, well, I think you could probably enjoy it more than I would. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm going to have to fold it so it won't swamp my kitchen table because it's huge. But it's gorgeous. So I've had some surprises this week from friends, and it's really, it's helped me get through. This has been a rough week. I think it's been a rough week for everybody. It's been a rough week for me. I think it's been a rough week on just the world in general. Isn't today the day the aliens were supposed to come? Well, shoot, they're late. And they didn't even bring a casserole. Doggone it. Can't teach anybody manners, Don't matter what side of the Milky Way you come from, I don't reckon. I've had a lot of fun watching these people thinking these aliens are going to pop up, though. Personally, I just think somebody wants Steven Spielberg to get more rich, but, you know, hey, who am I? I thought that was zip ties, but I'd cut off. But I find it peculiar that they're doing all this about the same time that Steven Spielberg's been working on this huge other alien movie. You know, the alien movie's been in the works for a decade or more because it takes so long to create it, allocate the funds, you know, it takes a while to get these things processed. And I'm just sitting here going, I'm getting to a point where I'm kind of over, I don't know, it's them selling us stuff that they want us to believe. But I need to show you that shirt. I found it online. It came in today. Where did I put it? Oh, crap. This is why I should not be. I'll post a picture on my community post page. I hate that they changed that. But it has somebody. It shows the evolution of man, and it has them. The last of it, their legs under a cloud, showing that they're just part of the cloud. And I thought, oh my goodness, we telling on each other now. And that was on Amazon, and I hit purchase. It was fairly cheap, and I put it in my cart, and I meant to send Sabrina a picture of it earlier. And where this has been the most backwards day for my health, I did not, but I will. And I literally just probably did the most evil laugh after I purchased that. Because I was like, we're getting mainstream, buddy, we're getting mainstream. And a lot of people are really figuring out what's going on. They're figuring out that their bodies have been hacked, their bodies have been hijacked, their energy is being basically consumed and absorbed and put into things that nobody said was okay. I don't want to go to Walmart to power the Walmart store so they can keep up with their shipping. I don't care if they can keep up with their shipping. That's their problem. I don't know when it became my problem. I don't know why I have to bag my own groceries. Why should my energy have to be the subplant for their store? It doesn't make sense to me, but lots of stuff don't make sense to me. There, I need to poof it out a little bit nicer, but this will be the one that I sit in the baby's grave. It's very cute. I want to glue that one spot right there. I will put a picture of it up tonight when I get done with some stuff and remember, and I'll put a picture of it up because it shows that it's the evolution of man, and the end of it, it's walking parallel to the cloud above it. Your butt's on the cloud, and the human is on the cloud, and you're just walking pair of legs outside of the cloud. I like that. That's just really pretty. It's gonna look really pretty and full from all the angles because I put a bunch of ribbon around it, and then I'll just put this little spot here up against the little tombstone that it's in. Okay. All of the families accounted for, right? Am I right? I think that would be pretty right there. I'm making an executive decision to put the flower right there. That's pretty. But it was very nice to see that because you do not. I'm going to blend these together a little bit better. You do not see a lot of people talking about that. I just think that's going to be so pretty from up above. When I put the back up against it's going to be so pretty. Okay. Everybody's flowers are done. I've got a pile of flowers over here that's taller than my pile of presents. That's okay. We're all accounted for, though. We're all done. I still have flowers left over, too, so that's nice. I might put them on a wreath. Take them back to Mom. I wonder if that's why when our sex offenders with the GPS monitoring bracelets on, ankle bracelets, would go in, it would blip off. We would lose them. If they went in a big box store or a Walmart, we couldn't track them on our maps, our little blinking maps. And we would kind of look at each other and go, Walmart. And literally, like, wait 15 minutes. And if they didn't pop, then you start to call the cell phone. And if you can't get hold of them, you go on a mission to physically locate them, because those are people you don't want to lose off the map, you know? We knew they hadn't tampered. We didn't get a tamper code. But we didn't know what was going on, and we were not about to take chances with that, demographic, obviously. So we did not appreciate when they went to Walmart. It kind of gave us a little bit of a heart palpitation. I do still have these two left over, and so I probably will put some, if I put my tree up, I probably will put some going around through my tree. I have this little piece left over. I'm going to put it in my little tree. Also, I have a Jingle Bells necklace with the bulbs, the ornament bulbs that light up, and I've got it on my tree in the middle of the table. I've gotten a lot of little packages from people, and the kindness that they thought of me and wanted to send me something. It's really helped me get through this week. It's been a really rough week. I don't know why it's been specifically so rough. It's just been a really rough week. And so everybody's package, they've been so sweet and so nice. And if I have helped David mail out stuff this week, I have been extra generous. So if you purchase something out of David's Etsy shop, then check your box really good, because there's extras. But it's Christmas. It's like Booma ordered some stuff for his mom, and I was like, but he didn't get anything for himself, so I made him that possum. I'm going to remake it, though. I'm going to come up with a better, more refined pattern for the bee possum, the possum bee. Well, I hope Sabrina's watching this and she sees that I have glitter all over my house now. Normally, she's the one that brings the glitter herpes, but I did it twice this month. So, and I brought the Graves' disease rash. So, there we go. I hope it starts to fade in a day or two so that my body I can tell my body's working. Because if it doesn't start to fade, then I know that my body's in a pickle. And I'm set to see my endocrinologist the 30th of January. But if this does not fade really quick, we may have to try to get in more quickly for some repeat labs. I've got to have my eyes revamped too, and they're trying to get all of that Medicare crap worked out, because it's going to be medical because of the Graves' disease instead of ophthalmological. I can't say that word. It's one of the words I never have been able to say. And my cousin works in that field. I can't say it to save my life, but y'all know what I'm saying. So they've got to get the billing done correctly, because it's a health issue now. It's an eye health issue, medical issue, rather than just a vision check issue. I don't know how to explain it. Y'all know what I mean. So they have to go and get everybody's John Hancock previously approved and everything and written before I can go in and do all my testing and stuff, because then they determine how much I have to pay out of pocket and how much they'll help pay toward any glasses and stuff I need. Which, if you've watched me for all these years, you know that none of the glasses they ever give me ever work, because my eyes are continually changing. So it's a crapshoot. But they do need to look at my eyes routinely to see if they're worsening due to the Graves' disease. So yay for me. Oh, things are sad, but there are a lot of things that are good, going good. So you can't linger on sad too long. And we still got a lot of positive things going on. I'm still, like, I've lived 20 plus years with this disorder that normally people are willing to get about 6 years with. So I can't fuss about that. This RSD that normally takes people out and that kills their organs more quickly, I can't fuss. I've been given way more years than most people with this. I do have good spurts in between the bad spurts. Yeah, I've been having more worse days when the health, the weather and the health collide. But I'm still able to go and do as needed to maintain my own health, rather than, have to be in a facility or something. I'm able to maintain my health well enough to keep myself out of the hospital. The last almost 3 years now, I've not had to have a hospitalization. I've had to have a couple of ER visits because of the tachycardia from the thyroid. Because after it goes for so long, I just have to go in and they have to slow it down because it just gets too bad. But otherwise, I've done really well. And, I've lost a lot of weight. I'm still a heifer, but I've lost a lot of weight. The thyroid medicines keep making me gain and lose and gain and lose. But I am much healthier at that standpoint. So there's a lot of positives, too. And I have to kind of recite them back in my mind and remind myself sometimes when I'm having a really bad day because I do have a lot going well. I also have feathers on my tree. I tuck them into the edges so they stick out. And that one had taken flight. But I mean, I've got a lot to be thankful for too, so I can't fuss too much. But I do have a lot of health issues, and they're weird. They're weird, and they're disorders that are very rare, and I am kind of a teaching tool in the medical field, and that sucks sometimes because it means I get billed for educating. They don't know what they're doing, and lots of times they get it wrong, and they get to bill me while they're getting it wrong. And then lots of times I'll go in and I'll give them more information than they had about the disorder when I got there, and they can only treat me because of the wisdom I give when I'm there, but then they turn around and bill me for it. That irritates me. But, it happens. It happens a lot. But, I could have something else. So many people have so many health issues that are, worse. And this one will eventually knock on an organ's door that says, well, it's time for her to go. But I mean, everybody's milk's going bad eventually. And everybody's like, well, you're just really laid back about it. I am very laid back about it, but I can lean forward real quick if I need to. So I choose to stay really relaxed about it because I don't want to worsen my own health worrying about it. It doesn't help. I'll just deal with it and go on. Is that Clancy? Is it Clarity? Clarity. I need my glasses. Is that the same Clarity? It's got the t-shirt shop, the shop with everything in it. Yeah, there's Ophelia. Ophelia, your package was mailed this morning. Oh, Clarity, if you want to put your link in the chat, feel free to go right ahead. Clarity's got tons of wonderful t-shirts based on all this education that Sabrina's been bringing at the forefront of everybody here lately. And they're really awesome. Some of them are really tongue-in-cheek, too, and I really like that. I like the snarky, sarcastic stuff. But speaking my language, I'm rather snarky and sarcastic, too. Trying to clean up my workstation. Oh, no, Luna thought I opened a treat. It's not a treat, it's just trash from Mama's craft session. Yes. Big yawn. Big yawn. Big yawn. Yeah, come here. You want to say hi? Oh, dear Jesus, you're fat. Oh. Say hi to those people. Yeah. You say hi to those people? No? Oh, you belched on me. That's lovely. Say hi. Say hi. I'm Luna May. When I have seizures, they call me Shake and Bake. She's not had one in a while since I had to excuse myself on the boom string. And that's the only one she's had in about 3.5 months. So we're hoping that we've got them, continue to slow down, and she's doing much better. Luna has gotten packages too, and David's like, she's getting fan mail, and I'm like, I know, it's hilarious. But see, it just won't go away. And when I do something, it gets deeper and more red. I think it's just because I get warm and I'm working, so I'm probably going to prop up and crochet for a few minutes. And then don't forget, in about an hour, Booma and Sabrina are going live with the movie night rendition of what is it? The Ninja Podcast? What is it? The Crazy Ninja Pod? What is it? Why am I'm forgetting all this? It's been a day. Can you tell? But yeah, Clarity is the one that's got all the really awesome t-shirts and all that stuff. So go support Clarity. She's got some really awesome I like the tongue-in-cheek ones. They're my favorite. Probably after the holidays get through, you'll probably see me pop in and skirt a few. Sabrina's got some stuff too, I believe. She's making different hoodies and stuff too. But I was on the Amazon and I was getting diapers and wipes for my twin grandbabies. And I guess just predictive programming where I had typed so much into the Google search bar that it pulled up a t-shirt that had the evolution of man, and the very last evolution was just a cloud with legs. And I bought that shirt. It came in today. I will take a picture and put it in my community post area so that y'all can see it. But I don't think I ever snatched anything online so quickly in my life because I was just so amazed to see something mainstream. So I grabbed it. I did copy the picture and do a Google Eye reverse image search, and they do have it on other sites, other sale sites. Kind of like the more like Temu and what is it, is it Alibaba? What's those other ones? Those ones. Temu I don't mind, but the other ones are a little too hanky janky for me. But this was on Amazon. She's thirsty again. So we're getting mainstream. The message is getting out there, and people are starting to process in large numbers. And then with Dr. John Campbell, who came out in the last couple of days with the German reports on the COOF and the PCR tests that were 86 to 90% incorrect, it means they basically lied to us 100 times over during all of this crap. So trust is not going to be easily, given back, and I don't think the U.S. government, I don't think the world is quite ready for the slapback that's going to happen, the accountability that's going to happen because of that. So a lot of people are fixing to learn a hard lesson, and they need to. They need to. My dryer went out last winter, and I ordered a clothesline. You could just affix it to a stud in your wall, and then you put the hook on the other stud across the wall, the other side of the room, and I pull it, and it goes right over my wood stove where all the heat rises. And so if my dryer breaks or I've got something I just need, like I'd want to delicately dry, I just pull that puppy out, hang it up, and then when I'm done, I put it back, and it goes into a little box. It's about the size of a little jewelry box, and it holds up to like 80 pounds. I think it was like $12. It's the best thing ever. It is the best thing ever. And if you remember last year, like everything in my house died like within 2 weeks. We had like $600 of repairs in like 2 weeks, and it was like stop. And the water heater was the last thing that went out on us. If you remember that was a spell. Let me tell you what, that was fun. So that last winter was, of course, we have been here a long time. So David and I just celebrated our 23rd anniversary. So we, you replace things after a while, and everything. It does seem to be bought in waves. So, hey, I used to use those old washers with the ringers that fed through that it rolls, and the old ringer washers. Listen, I don't think my clothes have ever come as clean in a regular wash machine as the stuff I washed in those old ringer washers. Those things got crap out, man. I mean, they were awesome, and a lot of horse barns that still do like leg wraps and stuff and tail sets and wash them. They still have these old washing machines, and honestly, if I lived in a little backwoods cabin and not if I had like the room outside, I would have a little shed outside, a little laundry shed, hook up water to it, and have just enough electric and water out there to run a little tiny little laundry hut and hang everything outside all the time and not have anything laundry related in my house. I would be completely fine doing it all out there on a nice sunny day, putting it out early in the morning and getting out and getting back in the house. Because that was one thing when I was little. I got that job at the horse barns, watching all the leg wraps and the tail sets and all that stuff. Those ringer washers get everything out. You can't find a better washing machine. I'd love to have one for my own clothes. Oh my, David's work clothes. Holy crap, his hats. Ha! Oh my gosh, I'd go crazy. I'd wash everything. I think a lot of the old time machines they didn't look at us as really as potential repetitive consumers. They just looked at us as it was more of a loyalty thing back then, and so products had to be good. Now there is no such thing as loyalty. People don't know what it is. They really don't. No, you're not going OUT right now. And David's schedule has changed, so it's gotten her internal clock all messed up, so she's all cattywampus. Yes, I'm telling on you. Yes, I'm telling on you. Yes, I am. And she snored so bad last night. And I know the weather was probably bothering her too, but oh my gosh. I thought she was going to take the stain out of the wood walls. I did. I thought you were. Snorty McSnorterson. You just snort so bad. I mean, it sounds like a hog and a waller, y'all. I'm not even lying. It's pathetic. Now here, you're going to bump something off the table. No. No, you're not getting it in my lap. No. No, no, no. Yeah, I love those. Granny had one and Grandma had one for a time when I was little, but not very long. But all the horse barns had them, and I loved. Dad was always afraid I was going to get my fingers stuck in the little ringers and we push it through. I never did. But also, you seen that horse hot walkers? They would have like 6 horses on a hot walker, and I was the child that was always at the barn because my dad was a blacksmith, so I was always at all these barns, and I was just very comfortable with horses. And I would go into these, and some of them were enclosed hot walkers. I probably needed better supervision now to think about it, but I would hang upside down from my knees on the empty hot walker bar, and all the other horses would be walking around in a circle, and I'd just be hanging upside down from my knees on the empty spot. They'd be like, "Hey, Liz," I'd be like, "Hey." Never tell me to get down. I was going to get stepped on, get out of the way. Oh, hey. And then you steal the golf cart out behind the barn and go joyriding. Some good times. The golf carts you could make off with. You didn't make off with the tractor or machinery. You took the golf carts. I had a very weird childhood. I was either in college lecture classes with Mom or I was at the barn with Dad running amok. So it was a strange childhood. Wow, Colin. If something like that ever happens again, vitamin K immediately. Vitamin K. Because that's what it pulls out of their system to kill them and make them thirsty. Go and get them a vitamin K injection immediately. Take them to the vet and say poison, vitamin K, and vitamin K injection, and maybe 2 more injections after that, and they'll be fine. But that's what it depletes from their system to kill them, make them thirsty and kill them. Vitamin K. You don't know how many times around here cattle dogs or stuff get into stuff like that, and it's just you see a lethargic dog on a ranch or on a farm somewhere, you give them a shot of vitamin K. You don't care, you just give it to them because you guess that's probably what they've gotten into. Going to college now is an absolute complete waste of time. When Mom went, and I would go with her to her lecture classes, and I went with her for her bachelor's and then part of her master's because it's just the age I was at. I had to be with somebody, and if Dad was going to be out of pocket, I was with Mom. And that was back in the day where if you could bring a kid and sit them somewhere with a coloring book or a book they would read, and they would behave, they didn't care. Now they'll fine you on college campuses, even if your child is impeccably behaved and just sits there. They'll fine you for bringing your child on campus. Well, they know you're going to campus to provide a better life for your children. And if you're doing night classes and crap, they know you're doing it after work and you ain't got no babysitter. But they'll fine you. I got a fine one time and I took it up to the dean and we had an argument and he took it back. So I said, show me the distress she caused the campus. I said I was the only one on the entire campus. It was an adjunct campus. So it was the only reason the whole campus was open. I said, so had I not been there, nobody would have got paid. I said, so where's the pat on my back that I showed up anyway? He took the fine back. I was like, you idiot. You'll find the one student you had that night. I could have shut the whole campus down and walked home and cost you about 15 grand. But I was kind and I came to real estate class. It was real estate law. Because when I took electives, I took law and stuff like that. Because if I was going to pay for a class, I wanted something in here. I didn't want a fly-by class. I wanted knowledge. So I took legal classes to do electives and stuff. And they hated me for it because they said I'd have a better GPA, but my GPA was like 98.7. It was like my temperature. You're not getting in my lap. No. You're going to be covered in, you're going to be covered in glitter. Oh my goodness, Luna, you're going to sparkle and we don't need that. Come on. College is absolutely a waste now. I went and I got to the point where I had to finish to go level up at work. And the last 10 months were probably the hardest time of my life because I knew there was it was a waste of time. It was a waste of money. But I had to have it to level up to the next position. And had I known my health was going to kick out, I would have never done it. I would have spent more time with my kids and not gone to school. Because all the jobs that I worked in that very emotionally just violent sector of the population that I worked with was not worth my health. Honestly, it wasn't. I would have probably been better had I stayed a farmhand or working with livestock or done equine massage. I would have probably done much better with my life. But they fill your head when you're from, Podunk. They kind of tease you and say you can't do this. You'll never make it. And then when you do, then they degrade you for your accent and your language, and they want to change everything about you. And then if you don't change, then they won't give you a job. And but man, I tell you what, I wish if I'd gone back, I wish I would have just stayed and maybe done a technical or vocational or equine massage, something like that, and stayed with the livestock work. I would have been a happier person. I wouldn't have had to go through a lot of the crap I went through. I wouldn't have the injuries that I have now. Luna, you are not supposed to bother stuff. Don't come be sorry now. Just don't do it again. Petulance does nothing but irritate me. But I wish now I just stayed with livestock. Been a much happier person. Probably would never have ended up getting injured. Possibly even not enough to make this disorder present. I could potentially have been a completely different person. Hindsight's 2020. Colin he's had a really colorful past employment history. Yeah, I became really sick. I became sick of the mindset at school. Sick of the crybaby, whiny baby young people that were just too lazy to hit a lick. And here I was, nursing a fairly new marriage, raising two kids, going to school full time while working a full time job, and driving 3 hours plus on top of my workday. And I just look at these little whiny babies and be like, what happened? It was what happened. But it's every society sees it. We're in a very bad spot. Um, the mentality of everyone's going to have to change, and I think it's shifting enough. I don't know, but it's shifting. It's nice to see people that have got a clue now. I had a friend get a medical degree, and she's very disenchanted with it. We'll just say that. It wasn't at all what she thought it was going to be. Yeah, I would rather learn from people that have, like old timers that know how to do things or have the wisdom. I'd rather shadow somebody an apprentice than I would just sit and regurgitate facts and statistics and stuff. It just, God. Clarity, you've added a lot to this dialogue in the chat. Thank you for hopping in. I appreciate that. Okay, well, I'm going to need to shut up. Plus, y'all need a break because here in about 45 minutes, Booma and Sabrina will be going live. Everybody needs to go have a break, walk, move around, get your blood flowing, get you a drink or a snack, and get ready for the Booma and Sabrina movie madness thing they're doing. And it's going to be funny. The way she explained it to me is basically they're going to go through movies that have little pearls of wisdom or kind of we should have seen it coming. And so I'm excited to see because that's what I took it as. But we did a very quick chit chat this morning, and I was not like fully cognizant at the time. I was still not in a good place with my health this morning at that time. But I think it's going to be fun because well, when Sabrina wants to teach you something and she makes it fun, just the way she makes it fun because you just never know what she's going to come off with. You just never know how her brain's going to work. It just boggles my mind sometimes. Luna, you pooted. That was rude. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, dog, are you okay? Is that why your eyes are so big? Ooh. I'm gonna take Luna out for a walk also. That was a little raunchy. Whew. I think we need a potty break. Oh my goodness, that was rude. Oh, where's the Febreze? Okay, it's time for Luna to go potty. Everybody take a break, get up, move your legs, walk around, and then join Sabrina and Booma for their movie madness thing. I will be there probably in the chat, depending on how much dinner I'm getting ready and doing when David gets here. So make sure you watch it. It's gonna be a funny thing. It's gonna be a laugh riot. We always have fun when Sabrina teaches us these little funny things. She always teaches it in a way it sticks, which is what I appreciate. So make sure you check that out. And Clarity's got a shop with t-shirts. Gypsy Girl that's normally in here, she's still doing crafts and art prints for sale, and she does historical settings in her Kentucky area. She still has prints for sale. She's been doing some other paintings and stuff. Um, we've got several people that do crafts and have stores and stuff. Of course, Dave has the Etsy store, Hillbilly Heart Decor. But if we're ever doing a live and you want to share your store, your endeavor, feel free, go right ahead. We all need to support each other. And Booma has been such a help with Dave's Etsy store. It's been nice for David to see it kind of flourish a little bit lately. It's been very helpful too since they cut his hours. So we all should help each other as much as possible. Okay, well now she's standing at the door looking at me like, lady, you better hurry. Okay, I'm gonna take Luna out. Y'all have a wonderful night, and I'll try to pop back in later this week. Not later this week, later this weekend or the first of next week. And I've got a couple other things I'm gonna do. If this will chill out, then I can get back to doing some extra stuff. But we'll see what I tangle with and how I feel the next couple of days. Keep me in your thoughts though, because my health apparently does not like me right now. But all being said and done, I still feel pretty good. I just know I'm running on some fumes. I probably need to be nicer to myself the next few days. I will. I promise. I will sit and crochet and watch holiday movies. that I'm going to be upwind of the farting dog. Okay, y'all have a good night. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Yeah, you're going outside.